a full room. Wow, it's pretty good. Full room for our last meeting here at Ridgeline. So, there's the Wi-Fi in case you want to get on it. Meeting logistics. I know this is overflowing the page. Who cares? If you haven't signed in, you do need to sign in. Also, be sure to get your parking validated before you leave. If you parked in I think that parking deck. The other thing is, many thanks to Ridgeline for hosting us for over about a year and a half now. Apparently we've met here so often they can no longer pay for the AC anymore. But I don't. Just kidding. Oh, okay. So just keep in mind, we are streaming this, so which means it's also being recorded. So if there's something snarky you want to say about somebody, like maybe your employer, you might want to keep it to yourself. All right, meeting notes. So we do have meeting notes in Hedgedoc. If you want to get there, it's link.novolog.org/notes. That has all the links that you'll see in this presentation. It's also got a link to Kirby's presentation on mail. I know we do this every single time, but here's our other links. We have a Mastodon instance. We have some Discord, which I actually haven't been on in a while. We do have a LinkedIn group, which mostly I just use for announcing this meeting. Signal, which does seem to get used quite a bit. And there's a mailing list, which, I don't know, I guess that's now legacy? I don't know. Yeah, there's been a generational shift away from mail. Yeah. Sorry, Kirby, there's been a generational shift away from email.
Andy, when can we hope to resurrect the IRC channel? I'm in.
Yeah, no security at all, right? So anyway, speaking of Signal, we do have, if people could keep an eye on the Signal's channel, that way we can see if someone's downstairs and ask to have them let in. So, all right, we have a full room, nearly a full room, so we have to have some newcomers. If you've not been here before, what's your name?
Stefan.
I'm sorry, what?
Stefan?
Stefan? Yes. And so this is your first time? How'd you hear about us?
Say it again?
How did you hear about us?
I moved from Seattle to here, and kind of like looking for a bunch of nerds to hang out.
I don't. Are any of you guys nerds? I think you found the right place. Okay. Anybody else who's new?
Found Dave. My friends invited me, so.
Oh, okay. So they're friends, huh? Okay. Anybody else? All right. That's enough for the icebreakers. All right. The other thing we typically do, and I noticed there was a job posting in the notes from the last meeting. Does anyone have any jobs they want to announce, or they just want to put in the notes? If you want to announce it, you can raise your hand and you can voice it right now. No job openings. All right. Well, if you think of one, doesn't have to be yours. You can put it in the notes, and then we'll see about getting that broadcasted. All right. The other thing is, again, I said many thanks to Ridgeline for hosting us for the last year and a half. However, we do need to start looking for a new spot. So this is our last meeting here. I don't know where we're going to be next month. We have a bunch of feelers out, but we'll figure it out. If we don't have a spot for next month, I think what we'll do is we'll just probably try to meet for lunch somewhere on the third Saturday. Certainly, we can find some place big enough to host us for lunch. Maybe we'll bring in a hot spot and a projector and do that at the lunch table. I don't know. So we'll see. Anyway, so be on the lookout for this. We'll put it out on the mailing list and all the other places we announce our meetings. So another call for presentations. So we do meet even if we don't have a presentation, but if you have something you want to present, we don't have any requirements about the polish of your presentation. You don't even have to have slides. You can just get up here and talk for 15 or 20 minutes, however long you want to talk. slides do help. But so if you have a presentation that you want to give, just see me and we'll put it on the schedule. So, all right. And if we have a meeting spot next month in September, we'll talk about the Fediverse and our new Novalug instance. And that October thing is really not a presentation. I just put it up there for chuckles. The although if someone wants to do one on that topic, that'd be interesting. So anyway, yeah. So if you have a presentation, go ahead and or you want to do something, let us know. So again, we meet without a keynote. So all right, tech news you can use. So I saw an interesting statistic. There are still 16,000 Americans using dial-up.
I worked for a company that half of the business was running on dial-up because our customers were too cheap to pay for DSL at their like rural gas stations.
Was this
So-
1994?
08 through
16,000 employees.
20. No, but funny enough, like the other line of the business, which dealt with ethanol processing, dealt with like multi-million, billion-dollar companies, and they would frequently cheap out on their internet stuff and backups. So it doesn't surprise me. Like if it's residential, it gets a little bit weirder, but like I know people in parts of Michigan that like their only option was HughesNet for the longest time. So.
Yeah, I suspect like of those 16,000, it's mostly rural people who have not heard of Starlink. I don't know. And you're probably right. It's probably like gas stations and stuff doing credit card transactions in the middle of nowhere. So
Yeah, POS.
anyway, they can't use AOL come next month. What?
POS machines at, gas stations and 7-Elevens.
What does POS stand for?
I think Ford made one time. I mean, honestly, we weren't even, like, we were dealing with point of sale, but really what's known as back office. So it's the analytics from the point of sale system and primarily tying that to ATG, which is the automatic tank gauge. Which if you guys ever really want to get into some ancient technology, look up ATGs, automatic tank gauges. There's things that latch into the underground tanks and the pumps on the surface. And there's one, I'll have to see if I can find a picture of it. We had one. It looked like a Soviet era missile launch, like pod. It literally had a little flip up button that was supposed to be like the kill switch for the tanks, and it had a key, and it looked crazy. It was bizarre. But then you have like the most popular line, Vitaroot. Like most of their stuff was built in the 60s and 70s, and people just refuse to replace it.
Because it works.
Yeah, to a certain
I've had to write Vita integrations before.
It gets blown up by
Yeah.
lightning all the time. If you're familiar with that, then
Well, I don't stand around lightning all that often, so anyway. All right, 6% of the Linux desktop market share, or Linux will have 6% of the desktop market share. So there's a company that a lot of enterprises use to, I think they're called Landsweeper. They categorize desktops, and it's like for inventory management and stuff like that. But they just released a statistic saying that 6% of their customers, the desktops of their customers, are now running Linux. So, and they went back in time and they kind of extrapolated out, and they think by 2030 it'll be 10%. So that was a fairly interesting statistic. So.
I think it's probably rising faster. There's been a big, boost here in the last couple of months with big online YouTubers using Linux.
Yeah, PewDiePie and yeah.
well, I mean, we all know the correlation here, right? Windows 10 is about to die.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a Windows 10 thing.
I mean, anyone here who has used Windows 11 knows it's a cluster of ads and bloatware.
Yeah.
So I've seen a large uptick in how to get off of Windows for Linux. Biggest bugaboo is games that require kernel level.
Yeah, and with the Steam, that's just been.
Yeah, I think Steam is a big issue, and then
It fixed it made it, for just a casual Linux get on with it, Stan.
Yeah, and the other thing is the EU has a thing where they're funding their own distros now because they don't want to be dependent on Microsoft. So, anyway, my favorite topic, RISC-V. So, so anyone who's dealing with RISC-V and Ubuntu might find out that 2510 only runs on the RVA23 chips, and no RVA23 chips are available yet. So, it's going to be kind of difficult to do. So that was a pretty. Well, I'm sure Ubuntu gets like samples and stuff like that, and they get preview boards, but everyone else is kind of screwed. So anyway, but there is another interesting development here. So there is a company called Zwanti. I don't know how to pronounce that. And they, Schwan, is that it? Schwanti? Okay. They have a chip called the C930. And they are saying that it's going to be have a greater clock speed than 3.4 gigahertz, and it is RVA23, and it may be out next year. So I don't know if we'll be able to get it in this country, but it's an interesting development because that would be truly a desktop class chip, which I don't think in RISC-V we kind of have yet. We're close, but we don't really have that. So this is kind of the one I thought was very interesting. How many people here have a security clearance? I know not everyone, but a lot of people do, right? Yeah. Or have worked in like the GovCloud side of AWS or whatnot. I found this interesting that Microsoft had their tech support for the Pentagon was in China. So
Yeah, but the funniest part of it was.
I don't. It gets funnier.
They hand waved it away by using virtual liaisons or something that were supposed to be their escorts. So
Completely supervised.
yeah, they were supervised by a virtual liaison or something. So
Who was non-technical.
I mean, I think the funnier thing is there was a Register article this past week of a former DoD honcho that basically said Microsoft views security as an annoyance.
I mean, that's obvious, right? So yeah.
Something that I don't know if anyone's been listening to is Microsoft, I don't know, about a year ago said security was the most important factor. Like it was like the CEO came out.
That
and
was
said,
after, what was the big thing that happened a year ago? Was that SharePoint?
No, it wasn't. No, this was out of the blue, I think. This was when Biden.
Oh,
was
their
in office
emails
and-
got leaked.
Yeah, that, and then Biden was like signing stuff, like to prevent stuff, and they're like, number one value to the shareholder should be security, and then they came out with the thing that took screenshots of your desktop every.
Oh,
Like less than a
yeah,
month
the
later, they came out
Copilot
with
nonsense
default.
or the AI desktop. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is bad.
Is it? Oh, well, it's another. It's probably why the Linux desktop stuff is going up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so if any of you get a contract with the DoD, just remember you can outsource your tech support to China. So
About North Korea.
they're probably you probably do that. North Korea probably work. Yeah, they're ICAR. And this one's kind of sad. Anyone ever run Clear Linux?
Once,
Yeah, I did once too.
just to see what the perf was. Pentium Pro.
So it was a little on a Pentium Pro. You ran it on a Pentium Pro?
How can stuff will be compiled for newer stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think it was, maybe it wasn't Clear Linux, whatever distro they had before that. I remember them having a Linux distro in the early 2000s.
I don't know when Clear Linux started. I played with this around I want to say 10 years ago, and it was on a 64-bit 64-bit Intel class machine, but it was noticeably faster. But it's kind of sad they've ended it because some Intel may be falling on a bit of hard times lately. So anyway, and that is it. That's all. Anything else anyone wants to mention before we get Kirby up here to tell us about why it was better under the email days? No? All right. Kirby? There you go, sir.
Very good. Any buttons to push or just hold it?
You just hold it.
Okay. So I will assume you all use email still, right? Yes, okay, good.
Is that the same as Gmail?
Well, I'll get the Gmail. All right, let's just do this. Nope, wrong one. Keep going. All right. And poof. Yes. Okay. Hey, look at that. All right. Can you hear me without this, or do I really need it?
People like
For the stream.
Oh. Hey. Okay. So my journey with this started about 7 years ago, actually. And any old FBI TV series fans here? No? Okay. Well, they always did their program in 3 acts and then an epilogue. So I, of course, will do 3 acts and an epilogue. So the why, what people say. I tend to get 3 responses when people find out that I actually run an email server. You poor soul.
That's scam.
Yeah. Yeah. You. And the third one, which is where I will focus things a bit, is no one has ever said that's so cool. What they say is something along the lines of what, why. That doesn't convey it. It's why. Like, save yourself. Please don't do this. So that's where I will focus. All right. Hey, we're to Act 2 already. This is good. Options in the build. Okay. So, yeah, of course, there are free systems out there. I mentioned SDF because someone out here mentioned it in the crowd the other day. There, yep, right. I generally, yes, I even have one of the G accounts, okay, that I tend to like commercial from the perspective that I like having some skin in the game, okay? And the quota. So some years ago, I was on vacation, believe it or not, and about that time, some people I have conversed with on a regular basis had an attachment that they needed everybody to see. And then there was an update to the attachment and an update to the update, and then there was an addendum and an appendix and a new index. And, 52 copies of the later, my quota filled up. And I found this out because somebody, hey, Kirby, I was trying to send you the latest attachment. So I get back and I looked at it and said, delete. Below quota. Good, we're back to normal. So, and that's what put the onus in my mind that maybe, I am a recovering Solaris admin, refugee. I'm a Linux admin, dadgummit, I can do this. Okay. So I started to look around, and funny enough, you were mentioning Go. Someone over here was mentioning Go. A great deal of these things are either Python or Perl or things of that nature. But somebody said, no, we must have a Rust copy. So they wrote a Rust program to do this. And then the Go people said, well, heck, we can't be outdone by the Rust people. So the Go people wrote one. So there are actually about 10 or 12 different, I use the term package, and I'll kind of explain that. The grouping of commercial, Freudian slip, open source software that you can run to install, and you run your own email server with it. So, iRedMail seems to be the most popular, I guess. I went with Mail in a Box. Mail in a Box is local. It started probably about 10 years, 12 years ago now. Like I said, I've been running it about 7, give or take. And so that's where I will kind of focus my discussion. Some of the reasons I went with it, well, they do on their site actually include a video tutorial of the installation. Granted, the video tutorial is very old at this point. They actually have a link to someone else who wrote a newer video, created a newer video. But the process, if you run the video, you have an understanding of how the process works. It takes a few minutes. It's primarily Bash, although it does have a lot of Python in there for certain pieces. And there's someone knocking at the door. Some of the components, and I'll get to the picture in a moment. Well, let's go ahead. Oh, insert diagram here. Let's see, presentation. Nope, 1 second. Good. Okay, yep, hold on. Technical difficulties, ignore him. This one, nope. There we go. So, I did not create this, and this is also several years old. This is the diagram created by Mail in a Box. I'll go ahead and throw this out. There is, in this room here especially, there is no one who isn't capable of doing this exact same thing. I have full confidence. They are using completely open source, as I understand it, components. What this doesn't show, and yes, like I said, this is old, they aren't using PHP 7. I know, somebody, that sounds alive. Yes, it is. They're using 8. Some of the things they don't show on here is they use Let's Encrypt automatically. Go out there, you don't, thankfully. Maybe I'll say that as well. And I don't know about the other programs, but this one pretty much, set it and forget it. The Let's Encrypt crons are created. You don't have to do anything except, sit back and admire the fact that you get new SSL certs on a regular basis. Okay. What's also not shown on here is they use Duplicity for backup. And I'll cover that a little more in a moment. For those who are interested, they do include zpush. I've never used it, but that's a connection if you want to hook into Exchange. So, all right, so back to live presentation here.
I guess
Okay.
if you're already have the sickness to run your own mail server, just go all in and run the Exchange server at the same time.
Sickness? Desire, come on. Yeah. Well, I've never used that. They did have a couple issues when they were migrating to the current version. Well, I've never tested it. Apparently it's working now. And I guess I'll go ahead and throw that out now as well. One of the things I like about the community is that they come out with new releases, so it's active. There are discussions that are active as well. If you put a question out, it doesn't get ignored. They might say, that'd be better over in this group than this group, but for the most part, things flow well. Let's see. So, yes. So when I started this, because doesn't everybody have a droplet in DigitalOcean, right? Okay. So I had one. I'm thinking, hey, I might as well do this with it. I say caveat just for everyone, and this is probably true of any VPS you look to run an email server on. Many of the ports are blocked by default. Now, if it's a good group, such I'm using or going to be using OVH Cloud, and the other one I have is because now I'm bold, I'll run 2 mail servers, right? Yeah. User acceptance testing, I've got to make sure things are working. The other one's going to be with Frantech, which is out of Canada. But I've not had any issues nor heard of any issues where they just are not going to let you run ports. DigitalOcean, as I understand it, with new customers, and this happened like a year and a half ago, they will not open mail ports for you. So they have a solution where you're using a third party, and that might be good. I don't know. I'm not doing that. But so that's where I decided to transition away from DigitalOcean because, and caveat, if you mention to this other new group you're going to, that even if you're not, hey, I'm leaving DigitalOcean, they will take that as, yes, we'll help you. Got another one, yeah. So, I do, of course, have a site with URL, domain name, with Network Solutions because they're old school, I'm old school. But I am going with Gandhi. Gandhi is the one recommended, not recommended, that they use in the video. It's out of France. So. Knowledge gained. Well, let's see. What did I write? Yeah, you learn to work with domain registrar. You may or may not have that via Glue Records. Glue Records is I've never really had a good definition of it outside the fact that it helps DNS work better. Okay? Yes, I'm getting a couple nods. Okay. So, all right. Wow, 3. We're moving right along. So, this product is designed to run on Ubuntu exclusively. I'm actually running here on 1804. Yes, that's end of life. That's true. So I need to migrate off it. And so the new version is 2204. I suspect they'll do 2604 because the prior to 1804 was 1404. That's sort of a pattern there. Those are the LTS releases, if I'm not mistaken. So there's the documented process and the solution I came up with for my migrating. Because you'll run into end-of-life software eventually also. The documented process is you set up your new target, you update the old host, you make a backup of the old host, you transfer the backup and the keys, because this is duplicity, it's encrypted, to the new host, you do a restore, and then you fix stuff, and then you celebrate, because it all works. That sounded a little, I'm not saying that isn't a good way to do it, that did sound a little complicated because I'm lazy, right? I didn't get to be a Linux system admin because I'm not. So someone in the groups mentioned, hey, there's this thing called IMAP Sync. And I ran it last night for the first time, and it actually worked. Yeah, okay, I was on vacation. I'm a little behind on these things. But I'm sorry, Cadaver? Whatever. One of the components also of this is you get Nextcloud integration too. Now, I use only the file system portion. In fact, this presentation is off my Nextcloud file server running on 1804 currently. So I actually find that I'm using that more. I have about 3 gigabytes worth of files on the file server side, and I only have 240 megabytes worth of mail with attachments. And yeah, so I will probably end up moving Nextcloud to a different machine at some point so that this one can be just mail and I won't have to back up files. Right, so I ran it. I went from the existing server to my new server, a little over 4,000 emails, 240 meg, and it copied it in 24 minutes. I haven't done an exhaustive review, but it appears from a size perspective, message content size and things, that everything went smoothly. It also gives you logs ad nauseam. So, I mean, this generated almost 5,000 lines of text in the log for the process. So you can run it without logs if you have full confidence. So I didn't want to bother running because it's nice to see the IMAP sync function work. And let me throw that out as well. If your inbox and all the associated folders is less than 3 gigabytes, you get to do it for free. Yay. Okay. If you're over that, then they expect a little bit of payment. The guy's in France. He's very funny, so I figure that goes along with good working programs, right? You have to have a sense of humor about this all. So what I wanted to show here, let's see.
While you switch, there was a question in chat. Have you any opinions on mail count?
I don't know it.
Okay.
Can you tell me what it is?
It's another like all-in-one mail server.
That one they run in Docker, if I remember correctly.
It is containerized, yes.
Yeah. So then it's easier to run all their OSs than just Ubuntu or whatever they decide to.
True. I can see that if you did that, running a container would definitely aid things. All right. One moment here.
Mail count.
It's called mail count. I have a coworker that runs it. He is Having messed with that side of things, like DNS is the biggest problem that I've usually run into. Security, security and DNS.
Are you
Because,
talking about DKIM and DMARC?
huh?
DKIM and DMARC are the issues.
SPF.
Like,
SBF, yeah.
Having worked
DNS
for
side.
2 weeks for a VPC, the number one reason they claimed why they didn't allow the ports for mail servers is because customers would use their services to do spam, and that would negatively affect the domains that they had, and the domain register account resale that they did, and also the IP address would get blocked, which would then downstream affect all their other customers' reputation problems. Now, the fact that they resold or sold their own email service was also
One
But
moment.
that's not a DNS problem, that's why you should have IPv6.
Yes,
that
but
was still a DNS problem.
but if the provider is selling you a mail service, then they can also rate limit the outbound messaging. Where if you're running your own, maybe they can do some kind of, rate limiting on a firewall or something, but you have much less control.
Well, live demos, always the best. Because I had Windows open, terminals open for where I was going to try and show the, one moment, let me get logged into, nope.
Multiple IP blocks. Spread out the reputation. If one of them gets, hammered, you're my favorite kind of customer. I have lots and lots of addresses. Yes.
Yes, okay. Yes, all right, we're making some progress here. Oh, come back here. Let's see if I can do this without looking up the password. No chance. Where's up? 1 second.
Excellent password manager you have.
Yes, it is. Good old Pepe. Where is that? Yes. Oh,
Nothing, you just have servers doing nothing?
That's the correct state of the server.
Powered off.
Much secure,
powered off.
much secure, right?
This is powered off.
It's a great way to heat the house. It's a great way to heat the house.
Yes.
Yeah, if
Okay.
anyone's looking for an inexpensive space heater, powered by systems.
There you go.
That's exactly what I'm looking for in August.
All right, so,
I mean, they will definitely consume more power than a space heater also.
all right.
But on
Yes,
the flip side,
okay.
you can run, yeah.
So this is, we'll call this UAT because this won't be production. So, but, let's see here. So the way, let me see if I can bring up the commands. Yeah, come on, you're in the queue somewhere. Do. Yeah, here we go. So, what the mail-in box folks do is they say, hey, you just download the current script for installation and you pipe it to bash. Trust but verify. So I put it to a file first, and then I kind of look it over and say, oh, this is boring, whatever, and I'm lazy, and I'll run. So this machine already has an older version of Mail in the Box running, so what we're going to do is just run through the upgrade process so you can see that, and I think that might be a little more interesting than watching, yeah, I copied a message, yeah, I copied a message, oh. Excuse me. All right, so we download the script. All right. Boop. And set up. What's the worst that can happen? I think I wrote that on a slide. So, first thing it comes to, yep, okay. Whatever, don't care. So, this is the Kirby mail. That way I know it's mine, yeah. The other one is XYZ. And I guess I should throw that out too. that provided a little bit of an issue because some people said, XYZ, that's a new domain, only bad people are there. So my emails were blocked. That stopped about a year or so into this. I found that I could send to other XYZ people or other people without issue. Interestingly enough, upon review for this, I realized that there was one group that seemed to, there were 2 recipients under Microsoft products that were the issue. I haven't sent to them, but, well, I've sent to others where it was blocked too, but it's working. Okay, so, yay. All right, boop. All right, so they're checking things. One of the things they do first is they don't like Apache because, I don't know, they don't like Apache. So they take Apache out and they put Nginx in. We can debate later if that's good or bad. I have a colleague, Sidecar. I have a colleague who doesn't like Apache, and I asked him why. He said, 12 years ago they did. And I said, okay, yeah. Yeah, so, okay, so it's updating system packages. This is good. What's it doing? This is one side note I'd have to say, and I've been meaning to write the creators. I'd wish that they'd give you an option to actually save some logs. Because basically, and again, this is kind of set it and forget it, if nothing goes bad, the log's gone. And it's like, it's, you know, just, sorry, I'd like to see it. Just cat it before me. It's like, yeah, that's right.
So does it only generate a log if something fails?
It generates logs, but yeah, if it keeps the log if something fails. If everything's good,
It punts it.
it punts it. So I didn't think it would take quite this long, but it's been a while since I. So. Yes, actually, thank you. Good point. Yes, it basically assumes that the only function this box is going to do is mail in a box, which also has annoyed a few people. People don't like the fact that it defaults to box as the name. You can change that. I've done that.
So it assumes Debian package management, is that it?
More specifically, it is yes, Ubuntu, explicitly.
So no
Yeah.
Linux?
Also, no PL or SUSE or.
No. Well, interestingly enough, not Windows, but somebody did port it to AWS and got it working. So,
Well, I mean, AWS is just.
yeah. Well, there were a couple of things apparently they had to, what's the word? Tweak. Yeah, there were a couple of things they had to tweak, but they got it working.
They had to do some stuff to get it through the.
AWS doesn't allow outbound 25 either, so.
Shoot. I was thinking this would go a little faster. Well,
It's writing logs.
yeah. Come on, you know.
Is there no verbosity mode or
Sorry?
is there no verbosity mode or
No, unfortunately.
packages it's installing?
Yeah. Well,
Edit the script at that point.
well, yeah, basically, you can open up a second window and see what it's doing, kind of thing.
What machine spec are you using? I see you are on Frentech.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. They generally recommend that you don't get the lowest, whatever the first tier up from the base of whatever VPS you're running is what they.
The $7 2 GB.
Yes. I actually chose the one up, not so much because it has a little more power. I guess they're expecting I get, probably 3 emails, 4 emails a day. I'm not taxing the VPS, okay? I am using it more than I did originally. You know, you start very slowly, kind of see how things are going, test the waters, but I do have I have confidence in it. I've never had breakage, shall we say, with it. Um,
IP reputation is
well, actually, let me show one thing here. Let me go back to. Let's go here for a second. So I think it's yes, .org. We'll do this one. So this is the mail that uses Roundcube. Let's back up. Roundcube is the web interface into the mail system. I use Thunderbird, so I don't actually. It came up yesterday on one of the instances, and I looked at it and I said, I have no idea how to use this thing. So I just went, you know, it's probably perfectly. Oh, come on, I don't want to erase the whole thing. So let's go here. So by default, that's what it gives you if, you know, that's your default. And you actually can set it up, and you've got a web server if you want to go off and set one up, even though they still recommend that it only be for mail. It's not there. Okay, admin. All right, so by default, it used to go, this is the admin site for the mail server. And let's see. So one of the nice things is it will, so they want you to use SSH keys, so they go and check and say, hey, you're not using that. And that's probably 123 software, but that's probably why the other is running a while. But so everything that's green, that's interesting. It knows that I'm running the latest version, though it's still updating packages. As we go further down, it gives you other pieces of information because it does check, for example, where is it? Checks on certain configurations. Oh, checks to see if you're blacklisted in sites, nicely. They also, one of the tests I know they ran because it failed before I opened the ports, is that they try and send email from your newly created server, and it'll report back whether that works or not. So
you don't have DNSSEC set up?
no, not yet on this one because actually the DNS, the official DNS record for this post is something, is a duckdns.org setting for those who, you know, duckdns is. And it checks on the validity of your SSL certs too.
You donate your domain to DuckDNS?
Not mine, no.
Okay.
So the way this worked is, yeah.
So DuckDNS used to have a thing where you could use your own, a custom URL, but you had to donate the domain to DuckDNS, if I remember correctly.
I'm not sure on that. I think,
Implies that other people in theory could end up using it, but if you're just using a subdomain off of one of the DuckDNS entries, then you're fine.
yeah, I'm just using it sub off one of theirs. When I first created the VMs, I wanted something out there so that I could reach them. Because that's the next phase of this that I haven't fully migrated to the new box, because I'm going to have to change its domain name and its host name in order so that it will continue to resolve for my mail server. And which apparently is fairly straightforward. I just haven't done it. Not because I'm lazy. All right, so let's see if we're still doing 173 packages. Perfect. Well, all right.
It said show more under the updating packages.
Yeah, on the interface. Yeah. Okay, let's show more. What the heck? Yeah. So it's well, okay, maybe I haven't been the best admin here.
Does that number update if you hit reload now?
That's a good question. No, so apparently whatever they're using isn't checking. All right, so let me get back over to yes. There.
What actor are we on, by the way? What actor are we on?
Actor? Oh, 3. Yeah, we're almost to epilogue. Okay. So, yeah, so what could go wrong? Well, okay. So, moving off to Act 3 on epilogue. So, you can do this too if you have a domain name, a VPS, the package software of your choice. An afternoon, yes, I thought about that. So, yeah, weekend to so. But it hasn't been that bad, thankfully. Yeah, I might have a different. I guess I was going to suggest that I do a follow-up when I have it fully functioning. I can tell you the other pitfalls and how many weekends it took to actually move forward. But
You can send an email to the list.
yeah, questions, yes.
My first question is, are you retired?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, because this sounds like.
Should you be?
Should I be?
No. This was more of a, is this what you chose as your retirement hobby, running an email server?
No, actually, what I hope to do, since my original realm in IT was programming, and what I'd eventually like to do is start to contribute to some open source products in the programming realm. Whether that be, I continued to take some classes along the way just to kind of keep myself fresh. I learned Python. Yes, good. 3, not 2. Okay, yeah, that just. But no, this isn't a retirement thing. This is kind of, I'll say a hobby. That sounds good. I'll go with that. That's a hobby. Yes.
I was wondering whether you could like set up email relay with
No. Could you set it up?
Yeah.
Sure. And I guess I can throw that out. You can actually set up multiple accounts on the same server if you want, which is another thing I'd like to do because I'd really like to separate shopping things from work things from, Novolog. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
We have a question on the chat.
Oh.
Have you had any security issues?
No, thankfully. But
You're aware of?
that I'm aware of, yes. No one has particularly set me out. There some other monitoring, is it Minion or Munion? There's a product they put in there which basically uses the round-robin database thing, and so you get grass for 6 months to kind of see activity. And
Are you leveraging DNSSEC with your deployment?
yes, on my true one I am, yes.
Okay.
And on whatever I replace that with, I will do as well, yeah. She was first, yes.
So I used to do this for like 15 years or so. It's actually helped me get some jobs, just knowing the recipe, and I've had the opportunity and everything else, right? So don't totally poo-poo it. In your experience, how well has DKIM and DMARC and SPF worked with Spam Assassin to really prevent any spam into your domains?
Uh,
That's what I used to run instead of spam assist.
those, and I know those words because they're on the diagram, so they're included. To be honest, I have not gotten, knock on particle board, I have not gotten an attack. Now, I only use the site currently for very specific things. My medical professionals are in there. My vet was in there, or is in there. I changed vets, that's why I kind of say after the fact. There are a number of list updates that I get periodically, but thankfully, I have not had any problems along that lines of all of a sudden, hey, we got this purple pill for this real cheap price from a place we can't tell you. Yeah, no, I haven't gotten any of those.
So you're not really putting your addresses and domain out there for.
Not fully, no, that was one of the things, but yeah. Yes, colleague.
I think that was part of my question, and I think you talked about some of it. So my understanding is if you set up your own email server, probably have no trouble receiving email, especially if the port is open. But it getting out to people you want to send it to, you briefly addressed that, and I thought that having DKIM, DMARC, and SPF, I barely know what those words mean. I've used them at one time, but I thought having them properly configured increased the chances that your mail got out. Does it walk you through doing that? Does it help you do that when you set it up?
No, it does it for you. It says, hey, we are doing all kind of good things behind the scene. You just wait.
Would you need to give them your DNS login for that to work? Like your registrar
Yeah,
login?
that was,
Yeah, how's it get the DNS reference?
I think in the part it showed that there was DNS servers and then it.
Yes, actually, that is one of the things. It does create a DNS server on your host. So yes, you actually host your own records.
which is.
For the whole domain or a subdomain?
For the subdomain, I think for the
For
subdomain.
the subdomain box dot.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because it's NS1 and NS2 box dot domain. Yeah.
You have to have so for your main domain, like if you do want box, like if you just wanted, example.com, not box.example.com, you have to have an MX at example.com to point to the.
Yeah.
Let me state it this way, though, because I know one of the things we did, and they walk you through this, back at Gandhi, since I'm still using them for this, you basically set it up so that they forward to your own DNS.
So it's a CNAME. It's a CNAME
I
in
think it'd be an
DNS.
NS or no? No, NS would be for it.
No,
Well, you have to delegate, but
Yeah.
okay.
So log into your registrar, create an NS record to box dot whatever.
Yeah, but then your email address is box dot.
I think his was, right?
actually, no. The actual user ID is just the domain name.
Right, because you can run an MX record in the domain and point to your box dot,
But how's that work with DKIM?
Oh, yeah, you're right, no, you're right, it would fail on DKIM and,
God, this is great. I had no idea it would be such a discussion.
Well, but also there's that weird filter in that, 'cause I don't
Yeah,
necessarily agree with that.
SPF.
On an outbound, it tries to do reverse on the box, and if the MX record from the domain doesn't point to the same thing, it says, oh, this is probably somebody bad, and drops it up. For certain providers, it's never consistent. That's one of the challenges with Google, hosting your own.
Reverse record that you have to put in the IP space. So it's called IP6.arpa.
I'm so thrilled that you said IP6.arpa, not .adder.arpa.
Yeah, also very bad IP6. I own
V4 is a fad.
yeah, as long as you have the SPF.
I'm done.
The DMARC and the DKIM records.
Doesn't it still refuse to work with IPv6?
Doesn't matter what your outbound is.
Internal.
Ah.
IPVCs don't.
Who don't what?
IPv, or AWS is.
That's weird. Do all that without.
Almost everything on AWS now supports.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. no, that-
You can
Yeah,
get a
that's-
V6 address
So I know when I
but
set
their
up mine,
internal
I
stuff is
use
still V4.
Yeah, okay.
Generate over here, paste it into here,
Yeah.
DNS record and everything else. Now, fair enough.
Because it's their special sauce.
So it finished, and here's the rest of what it did. So I guess,
Next one?
yes, yes. Let me scroll down a little more.
I think next time is what does the calendaring and stuff.
Can you configure it to use an external Nextcloud?
Probably. They don't, how shall we say that? That's not supported, but
Well, outside the script.
yeah. But again, the whole notion here is, and I will say this, the script is very good. I have had instances where something was busy and the script exited and said, I can't do anything. And if you run it a second time, it'll go and clean itself up and do it. So it is very good. They've thought a lot about that portion of it, you know, just trying to get it so it will do the right thing. Let me go ahead and. All right, so now if we go back over here, no. And now if we update this. Yeah. Okay, so this one here, yes, that one there. Hey, we're down to one error, good. So there we go. Hey, the system software is up to date. So that's pretty much it. So yes, other question.
How, like, this is the mail aliases, can you, like, have that, like, programmatically made, or is it just you have to set each alias by hand? with the-
You'd have to set each one in it, yeah. But and again, this is completely vanilla. This is what comes out of what they produce. But yes,
Are you just running this for yourself, and or would you do this if you had other family members or friends that wanted to use it?
That's why I got out of the game.
would I run this for other family members?
Do you think it's not worth the effort?
Well,
Would it be too much?
I would consider it for selective family members who, I have one family member who is still on AOL because they've been on AOL since Dirt was. No, they did stop doing dial-up about 15 years ago, best I can think.
Gotta have that email address.
Yeah.
So I will volunteer something on this. As someone that started in telco, way back in my very, very early ages, and was part of
I'll
like
come to you.
a surge employed, everybody wanted me to stick them on their service. Don't do it. For your mental health and for their mental health, just don't do it. Because when you get the phone call at Saturday at 11 o'clock, they're having problems calling someone, or someone's trying to call them, or worse, this was before 911 existed. Like if they were trying to call 911 services from the
Ooh,
phone service,
wow.
and it wouldn't connect to the local exchange properly, don't do it. Like email is so vital for a lot of 2FA still, unfortunately. It's still required for a lot of other vital services. And if your mail server goes down because you're on vacay in, I don't know, the Falkland Islands, you know, and your cousin or your sister or your mother-in-law is waiting on an important email from a doctor or, you know, from the bank so that they can log into their account so that they can pay their mortgage or something, you do not want to have to deal with trying to troubleshoot your setup for somebody else. Like, I run a private cloud for myself. My wife does not use it. Like, I've learned that the bare minimum is I have to get sign off. Like, if my wife says she doesn't want to bother with it, then I drop it as a provide solution to the house.
I don't do mail unless I'm paid to. I learned that the hard way.
Yes.
What's your percent uptime?
Actually, it's been very good. DigitalOcean in that regard.
And you haven't had any software problems that have taken it down, really?
No, thankfully.
Yep.
I'm not superstitious though. But no, actually, I've never had record of a bounced email, or anyone thinking any of that, you know. The whole quota thing was a commercial provider, yeah. So.
Is me at Kirby Mail your mail address? Yeah. We can put that on every.
Me at kirbymail.xyz, yes, because of course, XYZ is where all the cool kids hang out, right? Yes, okay, yes, another question.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot of these like cloud provider IP spaces have kind of been burned in the reputation.
Yes.
Like I know Microsoft is very aggressive filtering out a lot of stuff coming from cloud providers.
Yes.
Have you had any issues in that regard? Like your emails are just getting filtered out by other mail providers because it's coming from a cloud IP space?
Beyond those two that I know that were going to Microsoft-provided email services, no, actually I haven't. And again, I haven't had that issue in like 5 years. Now, are there still ones out there that might block me? Probably. But again, I have a very small sample of, you know, I'm in Kaiser Permanente, they get my emails just fine. Other hospitals have gotten it as well. So that's probably the most important, to me, group that I mail to on this server. So. Other questions? Okay. Uh-oh, two, yes, all right.
Have you bothered setting up a catch-all with this? I'm assuming it supports it.
No, I haven't. Just for my edification, if you.
So basically, the idea is that you can set it up so that
Any local part.
Star at.
start
Kirby
at
Mail.
your subdomain.
Oh.
It comes in. The idea or the concept is for like a lot of services that require emails, but for login, but don't require like communication over email. You can do that for, like I use it to catch people that are selling my email address to spammers.
Oh.
If I sign up for, trying to find some Best Buy, a Best Buy account, right?
All right.
So I would do Best Buy at my subdomain.
Yes.
And then when I notice an influx of crap,
Oh.
and it's all being sent to Best Buy at my subdomain.
Yes.
I know Best Buy sold off my email to spammers.
Use address extensions.
Again,
Now, that said, yes, you can create additional accounts on it. There's no,
Well, so the thing is,
But-
you don't have to create a specific, like I am never going to email Best Buy as Best Buy at my subdomain. It's just it's a catch-all.
I see.
Effectively, anything sent into anything, like literally at your domain, will go to whatever you direct it to in your mailbox. So
That,
because
I'll
there's
have to look at that, because that would be,
The idea or intent is to make it more anonymized than, like there used to be the concept of doing your email plus mailing list at gmail.com.
yeah, right.
So that anything with the plus would get thrown in there, but this removes your real email address from the mix.
Okay.
To a certain degree.
And also, a lot of times the catch-alls get spun, because that way if they're doing probes, it swallows, you know, like they know it's John Place. And they'll say, okay, well, we'll try John dot place, nope, John J place, place J, whatever else.
Yeah.
So, when they get bounce, and they don't get one, they're like, oh, that must be his real email, then they send me something.
I see.
Pinpoint. Where if it swallows them all, then
They don't know.
Blow up your mail server.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you won't spam it, and your spam thing should flag it.
some fancy ones that also let you like turn off like that specific address that you gave them. So like you can send a catch-all and then it'll register it in like a list, and you can turn it off. I don't really remember the names of those, but there's some that do that. So you can completely block them.
Well, thank you. That's something I'll look into, because I don't see why it can't be added to it.
That's another basic feature.
I know there's other services that do it. Like simple login and non-natty, I think are the two that I remember.
Yes, question.
So, over time, we started using more mobile devices, right? One of the issues I've always had with POP3 and IMAP has been like getting notifications in timely fashion of my email. I don't know how mobile-centric you are in your life, but are you using, let's say on Android, K9 Mail, or any other IMAP clients these days with your server?
I haven't tried.
On
To be honest, I use my phone as a phone. I know that's so crazy. Not something I've tried before. So, something, you know.
Topcat's pretty good about, I mean, as long as it comes in.
Alright, just how often it pulls it, or if it like does it like separately, and like, I think it's the fetching is the one that's like more quickly pushed.
IMAP push eventually became something that was well supported by all the clients and servers, but I'm wondering how well it's really doing today and what your battery life is like and so on.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I do say every now and then, sometimes, and this is perhaps things just bouncing around the network or DigitalOcean having a bad day, it might take 3, 4, or 5 minutes for an email to show up. You know, that one, oh, we sent you the code, you know, but for the most part, I've not had any delay in that regard as far as the service itself. But I haven't.
Always best effort.
Yeah.
Because spam filter and all kinds of things, it's rated as a best effort service.
Well, did I see you use Postgre with this also?
Yes, it's on there.
You gotta just, it'll retry if it's legitimate. So.
Yes, sir.
Where do you, so I guess one thing for anybody setting this up, do you just recommend using like a Gmail, a Microsoft for all your registrar DNS info, right? Because if you're running your own mail server, you don't want to point it to yourself if something happens, right?
Good point. I do have like 6 other email accounts on various platforms. Some of it I pay for. Yeah, you're right. No, I don't do that. Someday, if I actually have 2 that I trust down the road, then I might do that. Yeah, but yeah, right. You always need to have that back door for yourself, for sanity. Any other questions? No. Okay. Well, very good. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kirby. Much appreciated. Again, while we were sitting here, I actually submitted a thing for the Arlington Central Library, so we might be down there next month. We'll see. They haven't approved it yet. Apparently, it's not an automatic thing, but that's only if that does happen, it's only a stopgap measure because they only allow us to meet at most 4 times a year. Not just us; they do that for every group. But
I got a favorable response too, so talk to you after this.
okay, yeah. Sorry. So we'll announce where we're going to be, and yeah. So everyone's free to hang around till noon and do whatever.
Question for the group. If we, having to move locations, would people prefer a stable single location, or would they prefer to see us maybe move around Nova for availability?
Like, I'll try to meet in the same place as often as possible.
Yeah.
All right. So we're meeting at Ed's house.
I mean, Saturday traffic isn't bad, but, you know, if people are averse to coming here because it's further from, say, Reston, like, would it behoove us to move it around from month to month?
I mean, stable geographic probably makes the most sense, like not necessarily moving it all around, but like keeping it in a geographic location, even if not like a single location, single building.
Yes, Darren. Thank you for raising your hand.
One location.
I,
Should we game the library system?
no.
One time at this library, one time at that library, another time at this library.
Yeah. So the reason I submitted for Arlington is because we did it there 2 years ago, whatnot, and it was fairly successful, other than getting the projector to work. But and they were fairly accommodating, but they do have a tolerance level for people who try to game their system. And I have looked into other library systems like the Fairfax one and even Falls Church, and there are certain issues with those. A lot of places in the community centers, Fairfax County has a lot of community centers, but my understanding, and I've gotten this from several people, is it's like that Seinfeld thing with Hertz. Like, they're good at taking reservations, not really good at keeping reservations. So, But we'll certainly try to look into it. I think you got a good point, though. If we do move around, maybe we could only keep it to a couple of places or something like that. So.
I only bring it up because where I used to live in Central Florida, very spread out, very wide area. So we would move meetings around for the various user groups to try to accommodate and bring in large, spread the load, so to speak. But, if it's more successful or more, better to be at a stable single location, then that's fine too.
I think that works better, or at least having known locations is better for parking purposes because people
And that's-
tend to figure out the
That's all I'm
parking.
getting at, not
Yeah.
like random places,
Yeah.
more of a, like if we manage to find 3 places that are,
How many people is the metro important for? Okay, yeah. So that's the other thing is we try to get as close to a metro station as we can. Yeah.
So the other question that was brought up, and especially since we are in the midst of changing locations, I mean, this is a great group that we just got today, and it's kind of sad that we're going to have to move, was the concept of moving this off of Saturday morning. By show of hands, who prefers Saturday morning versus one evening?
Which type of evening? A weekday evening? Or?
Yeah, weekday evening, probably 7 to 9, after traffic. So raise your hands if you prefer Saturday mornings. I think that answers that inquiry that we put out there. We're going to try our best to get at least one location where we can meet regularly. If some of the requests that Andy and I put out there come back with multiple locations, we might see what we can do about that. Logistically, that gets a little difficult in my opinion. You forget which site you're at, you show up at the other one. Some are closer or further.
You can try to get a Capital One cafe. Some other meetups are doing that.
Do you work for Capital One?
No, but some other meetups.
But it's just a cafe, right? It's just is there a reservation thing for like a room or anything?
They will just give you the whole big room.
Is there a projector and Wi-Fi?
There is a television screen.
here's the thing, Andy, like if we needed to.
I can handle the
for
projector,
place
yeah.
If there was no internet, we could always just record the meetings and upload after. I mean,
I think we could if those things are in logistics are part of the issues like I have a projector a portable projector, which is good enough, and like we could probably figure out the internet thing.
what I'm hearing is we just invade a Panera.
So you remember that thing where we want to be in one place every month? Yeah.
Let's get banned for this.
Yeah, get banned from each Panera as we.
Panera, some of them are very forgiving for stuff, because there was a guy, this was in 2018, that would go to this Panera in Orlando with a full 19-inch CRT, a tower PC, like he would just set up his own little internet cafe at this Panera, and they didn't seem to care.
I mean, that's Florida though.
Well, yes.
Yeah, it's Florida. Yeah. So.
It's a very small pizza shop, but I know of a
Well,
pizza shop that in Nova where the local LARPing groups would put their admin, just park him there for several hours while everybody's off running around in the woods in costume, and he'd just bring in his tower and his monitor and
Hey,
everything.
Andy, there was a question about cost. I mean, ideally, we're looking for free.
Yeah, free would be best. Like if it costs us like $25, we'll just one of us will do that out of pocket. That's not a big deal. So someone put in there the GMU Student Center, which I just looked. That's $150. So that's per visit.
Anybody suggests donations, dealing with donations means that someone has to start keeping track of their money. And that gets into a whole.
Yeah, we may start doing that. There's a thing called LibrePay which allows, but we have to figure that out. You're correct. There are absolutely logistics involved in that, and I'd prefer if we can not do that. But if we have to go that route, we'll go that route. So, all right. Well, we'll keep you guys apprised. Look on Signal and the mailing list and Fediverse, and enjoy. They're homemade cookies. Remember to give Kirby 4 stars on the app. So, thank you. Do you want to say anything? Or?
Oh yeah, this goes back to the legacy technologies thing. I happened to be at a hospital. Don't worry, it wasn't for me, and it ended up being a non-issue for the person I was with. But I've always wondered if you've ever noticed the hospital beds. If I say Centronics connectors, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so Centronics connectors are from the old days. Sometimes you do printers and other things connected to them. And I'm sitting there going, this is, 2025. Why is this still a thing? So I had to look it up. I mean, being a nerd. So Centronics connectors had like 40 plus pins to use. Well, the beds have a lot of things that need to be signaled. And so, but why still? Well, it's a pain in the ass to get these things certified. This was commodity back in, the 80s, 90s. So they could buy them in bulk pretty cheaply. And they've just never gone through the process of getting recertification in the hospitals for any type of new connectors. And, these beds will last forever. So that's just my geeky, question mark. Why is that still a thing? And, Centronics connectors apparently are going to live forever because they're in every hospital wired to the walls. So, it's not likely to change. So next time you're in a hospital, hopefully for nothing serious, just look behind the bed and you'll see this thick cable with, 46 pins or something like that.
Well, to that point, one that worked on Vita Roots? Or no?
It was me.
Who did? You'll remember.
RS-45.
Yes. Serial ports are two things. One, it is the surge breaker on Vita Roots. So there's usually an evaporate line that comes up out of the ground where gas fumes will vent out. Those frequently will get struck by lightning. The way that seems to have been designed or handled within the Vita root, you have these, so you have the intrinsically safe and the intrinsically unsafe side of the device. And never the two shall meet. The RS-232 card that plugs into those will burn out anytime that thing gets struck by lightning. To save, in theory, to save the rest of the device.
It's very complicated to use.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty funny because those cards are probably maybe $5 worth of tech in there, but they charge, Andy, what do you think? I think they were like $300, $400, right?
Probably, yeah. You have to get tech to come out.
I mean, again, that tech was all like what was it, the Vita Root 350 or whatever it was called? Like that's all 60s, 70s era tech. There's nothing fancy. But this bit Vita Root in the ass in a lot of gas stations because for the longest time, I guess, nobody knew what so they did make an IP card that basically was just serial over Ethernet or something. At some point in 06, 07, somebody published the Vita Root manual on Pastebin. I'm not naming any names, but basically anyone that had their Vita Root on the internet with the port open, which a lot of them did because nobody knew what those ports were or what the commands were to actually do anything. Once the manual ended up online, people realized that they could do things like leak tests, which would essentially shut the entire pump down, or the station down, which means that a whole slew of people from Iran, North Korea, Russia, China started blasting every IP that ever responded on the particular port that Vita Roots work on. And there were all these pop-ups of like pumps shutting down during natural disasters, pumps like in busy rural areas or off of interstates, which then became I vaguely remember a mass call. Apparently, so on the IP cards there was a dip switch. Anybody remember dip switch?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Wow.
that allowed you to set a very simple plain text password. And there was just a rush to get text out into the field to flip these switches, dip switches, so that they could set these simple passwords, because all of these gas stations were just open to the internet. Like they never thought that this would be an issue. I don't know how or why they never thought this would be an issue, but
So the other thing that comes to mind, and this is mail related, was I said I use address extensions. If you don't know what address extension is, if I have, Darren at some domain, I can put Darren plus, Citibank, Amazon, and things like that. So I use that to track, who's selling my address when, things come in. It's also used for filtering. I signed up for something like that at one point, Darren plus, whatever. And I went to log back in through the login interface, and it wouldn't accept the address extension. So different people were programming different things at that company. It was very irritating because it is a standard, and you're supposed to be able to do it. But the people at the login page, I guess they sanitize the input or something like that, and or desanitize. And I think I had to actually call a human being to get it changed on the back end because I couldn't log in and do anything. So there's my little piece of mail addition to this.
What do you do then? So you've got Darren plus various vendors or mailing list or whatnot. So what do you, okay, great, Best Buy is selling my information. Now what?
It's just a curiosity. I mean, really, we have no way to retaliate. Yeah. I mean, shh.
You know we're live.
You filter by that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's easier to filter to the right, yes.
I just got an HOA. I put my plus.
Yeah.
I had to call someone, they put it through. I go for payment. Invalid email.
Yeah, that's kind of what I same thing I ran into. Yeah, the systems don't adequately account for that.
Invalid email. It is a valid email.
Yes.
Everything before, email is any character at 255 characters.
They've got to be using some standard library that doesn't recognize.
That is
All people
standard
don't
email.
get.
I had to validate that for work.
Of all things, I've had a problem with subdomain dot whatever, and it won't take it.
well, my question
There's like one
are
place that did
they-
that. I'm like,
is this
subdomain?
spam learning and growing and figuring out, okay, they're using to be clear, like the HOA or the management company behind the HOA likely gives zero craps about email standards. So,
Yeah.
like if they know that a lot of their customers are doing plus HOA so that they can filter or filter out responses from that, then are they actively looking for that in the responses to filter, like cause problems for people that are trying to actively fight against their info being sold?
But I think more, I mean, it's more, the plus is when you're logging into a website, so you're using an email as a login, not as an email, and that's probably what's the issue, right?
Yeah.
That's the bigger problem.
Yeah.
Email should not be used as
As a
a
login, right,
login.
yeah.
Well, that should sell.
Before that, the argument was social security number should not be used as a personal identification.
Yeah, it was never meant for that. Yeah.
That has been lost.
So I have another administrative thing back to location. Who drives more than 30 minutes to get to this location?
exactly.
From where?
Alexander.
That's 30 minutes to here? So if we went out to Ashburn, it would be really.
Well, I mean, listen, 30 minutes is not bad. The traffic, like I said, is not terrible.
very
I
clear.
have a car. For me, it's not an issue.
Any of you Saints driving an hour to get here? Okay. If you had your druthers, would you stay in Tyson's or rest in Herndon? Is Centerville or Chantilly too far for you? Don't care. Okay.
Best place,
I would say,
within an hour, preferably.
as long as we keep it at 10 a.m.
Yes, that's true.
That's, if you were to say shift get up at 7.
Yeah, I'd be late every time getting the coffee.
Like, I might show up at 10 o'clock.
And also too, like that distance of 10 a.m. on a Saturday is actually, no problem. An hour, actually an hour is a pretty long distance at 10 a.m.
I'm not thinking about the
At the
there,
7 p.m.
it's the coming back.
That's maybe a much shorter distance for an hour because of traffic in general.
Yeah.
7 o'clock p.m. The weeknight thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, we're definitely Saturday mornings forever.
Fredericksburg wouldn't make it.
Yeah, not.
Weekday evening is, traffic is different for everyone.
Oh yeah, the vagaries of traffic. Yeah.
Like at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.
And then you run into, like,
Yeah.
Who, who's staying late? Leave the house.
like, I'm on the couch at that.
Well, I didn't stay up late, it's just that, my wife might.
Well, we will definitely do our best to find convenient locations and keep it at the same time because we like the crowd and we want to continue growing the community. Which is this the largest crowd we've had? 26.
Close, yeah.
Yeah. So this
The
is.
only time we've had larger was when we were down at Arlington Central Library.
Yeah.
That was the first one back from.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of curiosity there, and people showed up for that.
Just as an aside, I'm not hitting the panic button, but if there are troubles, how many people would be open to virtual meetings, even in the short term? Short term, like if we couldn't find someplace for, say, September or October, or.
So the proposal is if we can't bang somewhere out for next month, is we just meet up for social time at somewhere for brunch or something like that. I totally expect we will have another permanent location sooner than later. Andy and I have a lot of contacts, and I just hit a list where I know a lot of these people are up there and executives at some of the larger companies that have multiple offices around the region. I hope we get a good response there. And so we're gonna do our hardest to get it next month or the month after that. So.
What I'm hearing is we need to set up some honeypots, so we can get some info on some people, and maybe provide some extra incentive to provide a location.
So. Yeah. I think that's everything we have right now. We want to say we do appreciate you as a community, and we like to see it growing. If anybody has any talks they want to give, I know Tim had mentioned something about virtualization. Maybe a couple people can tag team that.
Gaming.
Okay, well, I mean, we could stack them up for more, or somebody else can run with the idea. Virtualization is big in the news right now, something about Broadcom, VMware, and so forth. Personally, I'm, for my company, we are on Proxmox, and it works to good effect, but we don't do anything advanced features like, high availability and stuff like that. They're all single instances around the world, which is what we need for our business. But, pardon? Yeah, everything has bugaboos, but if, one or multiple of you are, very familiar with different virtualization technologies, that is definitely pertinent to this group and pertinent to what's going on in the environment.
I have some virtualization experience with HA and VMware and
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of options and lots of things to talk about. So think about that hard. You might not think you're a great presenter. You might not think that, but if you've had any skin in the game and have been doing it, we do want to hear about it. So if any brave souls who want to get up and talk, we're a friendly group. You can tell we don't bite. So thank you again. Andy, anything?
No, I think it's it.
Okay. Eat more cookies. I brought donuts not knowing the cookies were going to show up.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Please eat those too.
About that,
Oh,
it's based on it.
thanks. I wasted like $5.99 on those. Come on.